Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crack Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crack Podcast. Let's give a big round of applause, please, because we made it to another episode. I'm delighted to introduce my co-hosts. Let's give a big round of applause, please, for four World Cups and 20,000 years of playing in professional soccer. Let's get a big round of applause, please, for Mr. Damarcus Beasley.
What's up? What's up?
Next up, my other co-host, I can't get that word out my mouth.
What's wrong with that?
Who always holds down the back. He is our fort, and he's our concrete, the boss, the glow, the world traveler, model, businessman, professional soccer player, World Cup player. Let's give a big round of applause, please, for the Godfather, Mr. Oguchi. Onyewu.
Where'd you find this man? Where'd you find this man?
I'm still a little bit hurt. I think it's a light skin thing. Because when you introduce me, you just say Beasley 4 World Cups and then it's over. But when you say Gooch, wait, no, hold up. When you say Gooch, he's the, with the glow. You got all these nicknames and all this, for Gooch. But for me, it's just two things.
What you don't know is that Gooch threatens me before every show.
There we go.
Right? And he doesn't threaten me physically. He gives me some political scholar type of philosophy that that his vengeance is coming back very deep.
So can you please for the next, introduction, can I get a little bit?
Can I do your introduction next time, please?
Yes, you can, please.
No, I control the introductions. It's a Trump. Yeah, it's a Trump dictatorship.
Your introductions are piss poor.
Oh man. Listen, and speaking of introductions, my name is Mabricio Mookie Wilson, and we come to you in a time of interesting time here in the United States. Say the least, right? It's a very emotional, very thought-provoking, active time that most people in this country are taking back from what's going on, either surprised, angry, or just doesn't understand. So we come to you today for another conversation. Leading up to our last conversation, we want to thank Coach Snook for coming out and speaking with us. Bees, what do you thought about our first End Racism and Injustice conversation?
Yeah, man, I thought it was great. I thought it was very informative, a lot of insight to what cops think at certain times, within their job. I think he was honest. I think he gave his opinions on things that obviously myself and others didn't know. Kind of a little bit of insight. I mean, obviously, I would love to have him on again. Yeah. To even dig a little more deeper if we can. Hear more and get a little bit more. A little more personal.
He was good. He was under fire. He was under the spotlight. I think that he did kind of dodge a couple questions here and there,
which is normal.
Which is normal. Yeah. I wanted to get a little bit more granular on the Black Lives Matter versus the Blue Lives and all that stuff. But he was under fire up until that point. So right. I'll let it slide this time.
Hey, let it slide.
But no, I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Did you guys see all the support in the soccer community overseas? I saw your boy Sancho in the Dortmund squad, and also Bayern Munich wearing armbands stating Black Lives Matter. Bees, did you see any teams out there? And
yeah, man, I saw. Support? I mean, not even just the teams. The whole world. Is really coming together, and knowing that we need to. Do something as a society, as a world, not just an American problem, but a world problem, to kick racism out of the world we live in. And so for me, it went further than Sancho and West and with them, and I'll touch a little bit on them. I like to call them young kings.
Yes.
And the reason why I say that is because their generation, they're going to have, they're basically taking over from what our generation is doing. I don't know if in our lifetime we're going to see a huge change with racism and the injustice that's going on in this country. But to be able to be that young, he's still a teenager. I think he's only 19, I think, maybe, or something like that. So to be that young and be, a voice and use his platform for something other than soccer, and to be someone that, young Black kids, not even they play soccer, but just young Black kids can look up to, and be in this position to really get behind and stand behind, that's big. That's a lot on a young kid's shoulders.
Definitely.
Not just worrying about the game, not just worrying about his paycheck, not just worrying about, what he's going to do on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? He's worried about, he's caring about, the people that's paved the way for him, hundreds of years ago. And so that's why I call, those guys, I call them young kings, because they're going to have to, when we're all gone, and I know I'm getting kind of serious deep in the early mid of the conversation, but when we're gone, and when our fathers and grandfathers, when they're gone, they're going to be the ones that step into this role to keep this fire, to keep the pedal to the metal, as you say. You know what I'm saying? So, and for them to step up so soon and so early in their careers and their life, for me, I call them young kings.
Beasley's ready today, boy. Beasley's ready today.
Yeah.
Nah, man, it's beautiful. I don't think anybody has ever seen this kind of response to any kind of movement globally, right? Like, I don't think I've seen it in America, let alone in all 50 states. And then, it touches in Europe, it touches in Asia, in Iran, they had protests as well.
18 countries on Saturday protested, including 50 states around the country.
It's amazing, and it's such an important cause that you can't but help to have emotion towards it, that so many people are feeling it and want to voice their opinion about it. So this is awesome, man. It's a great time to be alive.
Yeah, and the thing what I love about it, Gooch, is that it's not just Black folks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is the biggest difference, I think. And that's why I think it's giving people hope. It's giving people a sense of things could, make a change for the better. Look, as the saying goes, Rome wasn't built overnight. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a slow process. That's why I say, maybe in our lifetime we won't, maybe it'll slowly here and there, it'll change, but in our life, we might not see it, 100% change where we really, really want it. But at the same time, to be able to see, people from South Korea, saying, protesting about, about the death of George Floyd, but looking at the bigger picture and saying racism needs to be, kicked out of this whole world is huge. It's not just people that look like us, it's not the same color as us. It's everyone that's really sticking together, really, taking into account in this movement that what we're trying to do, and it's beautiful to see, man. Beautiful.
And that's why I felt I had to be a part of history and participate in some of these protests. Watching documentaries on the 60s and reading writings by James Baldwin showed me how I do have some hope now, because I do say, like you said, the diversity of gender and also race and religion has all come out to speak and to fight against. So I'm a person who goes, all this is just recycle history, but I have to really change my thought process and realize this history is different and is stronger. And hopefully it gives us some change in the near future.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to speak about one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, named Drew Brees.
Oh, Lord.
From the New Orleans Saints. And Drew Brees made a statement condemning kneeling for the flag. But I just want to say that he did apologize, and he did go against the president who came out who talked negatively towards Drew Brees for apologizing.
He's canceled.
Done.
But what I want to do, in fairness to what we do here, we don't just read headlines. I want to play a statement from Drew Brees, his original statement, because I think his original statement is what the argument that many people who claim to be not racist but claim to be patriotic have made.
Right.
And I like to hear you guys' views on that as well.
Well, I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. Let me just tell you what I see or what I feel when the national anthem is played and when I look at the flag of the United States. I envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, one in the Army and one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country and to try to make our country and this world a better place. So every time I stand with my hand over my heart, looking at that flag and singing the national anthem, that's what I think about. And in many cases, it brings me to tears, thinking about all that has been sacrificed, not just those in the military, but for that matter, those throughout the civil rights movements of the 60s, and everyone and all that has been endured by so many people up until this point. And is everything right with our country right now? No, it's not. We still have a long way to go. But I think what you do by standing there and showing respect to the flag with your hand over your heart is it shows unity. It shows that we are all in this together. We can all do better, and that we are all part of the solution.
Gooch.
Man, so many things. And he's entitled to his opinion. But if you take notice in what he's saying, it's a lot of I, me, my, right? So you're talking about a unified group, but you're using a lot of words that just have a singular meaning, right? So he's saying that we should respect a flag, that he believes this, I believe this. It means to me, mine, in form of unity. But the unity obviously doesn't exist, because otherwise we wouldn't be having these protests in the first place, right? And so for me, when I saw that, I wasn't surprised. I was like, okay, another one that just is blind, right? And they always say the blindest person is not the one that can't see. It's the one that chooses not to see, right? And so for me, I don't really believe his apology, because his original statements were from the heart. Like that was a true statement, right? And so for someone to say, I will never, and then 48 hours later say, I understand now, my bad. You know, for me, I don't.
But he did. If you listen, this is what I have a problem with. You know, I mean, first, obviously, what he said, you know, about, you know, he'll never respect anyone for, you know, disrespecting the flag. And obviously, it's not about the flag. We all get that. We don't got to keep saying it. But my thing was the apology. The apology didn't say anything about he made a mistake for saying the guys that, you know, kneel for the flag, I would never respect. That is what he never addressed that. If you read his apology, he never addressed that. He just basically said, yes, I understand there's a problem. Yes, I was insensitive. I misspoke or whatever. I don't want to misquote the man, because I mean, I read it, but I don't want to say, I don't want to misquote him. So, but if you really listen and read his apology, he never said anything about, you know, what I said about guys not standing up for the, you know, for the national anthem and for the flag. I made a mistake. That he didn't say. He didn't address the biggest problem that we had with his statement, with that interview that what he said. He didn't address it in his apology. So that's what I have
he knows what he did. He knows how.
You know, and people say, you know, look, I mean, we all watch ESPN, we all watch, you know, these shows, and we hear about what they said about, you know, Drew Brees, and, you know, every athlete coming out basically saying they felt disappointed, you know, he's canceled, this and that, you know, but they say, you know, he's a great guy. He gives, you know, a lot of money to New Orleans and to this community, and he does a lot outside of football, not just on the football field. So, you know, I go by that just because I don't know him. Obviously, I don't know him personally. So I understand his apology of what, to kind of what Goose said. The backlash, you know, but the thing for me is, granted, he could be a great person, a great man, does great for the community, but the fact that you didn't acknowledge the whole point of us having a problem with your statement is that that doesn't sit right with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So read the apology again. He never said anything about, oh yeah, I made a mistake. You know, guys that, you know, that don't decide to stand for the flag, I understand their pain. They don't understand. He doesn't understand it. He still doesn't get it.
But the Bees, you can't get it in 24 hours either.
But look, it's not 24 hours, boy. He's a football player. The most diverse sport in this country.
I'm talking about changing his mind. I'm talking about really to really comprehend.
He plays in New Orleans, but he's grown up from Pee-wee to middle school. He's played with a diverse group. So if a person like him, who has been surrounded in diversity in sport, does not get it, then imagine someone that hasn't been exposed to culture. To black people, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, wow.
So for me, like, yes, okay, I'll say what I told you yesterday. I was like, he could be invited to the barbecue, but he got to sit at the kids' table. he only get one slab of ribs. He can't get two. He can't get seconds. You know what I'm saying? Because people say he's a great guy. They respected Drew Brees so much throughout his career and what he done for the community.
Can he get potato salad? Can he get potato salad?
Nah, you can't get potato salad.
You can't get the potato salad?
He damn sure can't get the mac and cheese.
Oh,
can't get the mac.
He can
get the mac and cheese.
He can get a devil's egg.
He can go get the vegan mac and cheese.
That's your auntie made. That's your auntie made. Who's trying to be woke.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, I don't want to,
And the reason I read that statement, I play that statement, is because so many listeners, so many people feel that same way, right? They associate the flag with being patriotic. They associate the flag with the Constitution. They associate the flag with justice.
Right.
And
justice is seen in different lenses in this country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the issue. And anybody that says this country was built equally, or even the Constitution was written in an equality time frame, is silly, right? It wasn't, and we aren't. And so what all these protests are, what all these voices are, is that we have to flip this system upside down. We need to start from scratch and start in a sense of equality, because it wasn't started that way, and it hasn't continued to be that way.
Right. Preach on, brother.
Preach on. Do you feel that every MLS team needs to have a conversation before entering the season?
Yes.
I think they've been having the conversation.
Okay.
I think a lot of teams have already taken that initiative.
Because putting stuff on social media is not a conversation to me.
Right.
In the locker room, no cameras, no phones, face to face, looking each other in the face and speaking truthfully is a conversation I think all needs to have.
Yeah. Because
you and I know there's many people who are in a power position in the MLS, coaches, executives, who feel the same way as Drew Brees.
100%.
Yeah. And I think they should that's how you gain trust with your players.
That's how you gain trust.
That's how you gain trust. Having conversations, really, taking into account, their issues, their problems, their struggles, where they really came from. Yeah, I get it. It's a business and blah, 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 and this and that. They're just worried about winning soccer games. I understand that. But to really, if they, like I said, if they really want to, right this wrong and, put justice, back into the American flag, then I think that's what they have to do.
Right.
Definitely, man.
100%.
Well, guys, I don't know if another report that came out over the weekend happens to do with LA Galaxy, one of Oguchi's favorite teams.
Why they gotta be one of my favorite teams?
I don't know. I feel like you would take it personal. So
hey, that's my first club I actually officially signed for. You. I know that, right?
Oh yeah, they dropped your ass.
Yeah, they ain't want you.
Because I ain't gonna say because I was black, but I ain't gonna say that. I'm just playing.
LA Galaxy recently acquired a Serbian player by the name of Aleksandar Kataj. And Aleksandar Kataj hopefully did not buy a house here, because before the season really got underway, MLS has released Aleksandar Kataj because his wife made some inappropriate statements on social media. Gooch, you're the first one who sent that to me. What exactly did she say?
What did she say? I don't speak Serbian, right? But I do the translation apps and everything. And basically, there were two separate posts on her social media that she had. And one of them was a picture in the protests. I don't know what location, but it was a photo of a police car in the middle of a protest about to run over some of the protesters.
Mm-hmm.
And the caption, and I'm not going to try and say it in Serbian, but the translation in English was "kill the shits."
Okay.
Damn.
And that's
vicious,
right? Tell us how you really feel. Right. And then the next one on her Instagram that she posted was a photo of a looter with a box of Nikes in her hand, running away. And above the picture, she put "Black Nikes Matter."
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that is, I mean, this is not the time to be making those jokes. If they're joking, it's
so insensitive.
Poor joke. And I salute the Galaxy for taking swift action, albeit it wasn't the player. She's a representation directly of him, right? And they have to be aware that, you know, your actions affect your spouse. And in this situation, it definitely had extreme consequences.
I've had arguments with people who say, "Oh, how far are we taking this now? If my grandfather said something, should I be fired?" And I said, "Listen, you're an athlete, you're a role model, and your wife that's a union. She's whatever she does affect.
It's a direct arm to you.
Yeah. And zero tolerance, brother. Right? Like I said, we condemn and we salute LA Galaxy for their actions and not sugarcoating it, suspending him, doing some, excuse my language, some bullshit that really knows it doesn't matter. It's not going to be effective. And you're just doing it for the headlines. They said, listen, zero tolerance. And I salute them for that.
Yeah, and the thing is, they didn't say anything at the end. I love that. That's what I love the most. When they terminated his contract, it says LA Galaxy terminated the contract of Alexander Katai. That was it. It wasn't, because, what I'm saying, they always do the politically correct thing and say, oh, wish you well. I hope, you have a good future. He was a good pro. He was a good player. All this kind of, nonsense that all owners and general managers say when a player leaves to go to another team. So for me, I thought that was savage.
I want to be I want to be a fly on the wall in that house to hear how.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
No, but I got it. Okay, picture this though.
Yeah,
so ahead. So obviously, he came out with a statement. So I'm going a little bit further.
Right.
So obviously, he came out with a statement after that, saying that
he condemned it. He doesn't.
Yeah, he condemned it. His
household does not.
Exactly. Right. So okay, Mookie, you're married, right? So you telling me this not. You telling me that you don't say y'all watch TV, right? You watch.
Yeah. Oguchi seen this?
So you tell me that, huh?
Go ahead, please. You were breaking up.
So, my bad. So you tell me that if your wife says something like, kill the shits, and you sitting right there, you'll be like, yeah, kill him, kill him. I'm saying, kill him. We ain't gonna. You think that he gonna have a different opinion to what his girl's saying?
It depends who runs the house.
You know what I'm saying?
He will publicly. That's for damn sure.
That's what I'm saying, though. But like, he's literally sitting there. He just didn't think his girl was gonna post it. So I guarantee that's probably why this. I'm just just thinking out loud. But she probably took it. Him, agreeing. I'm not saying the man's a racist. I've never met the dude, but she probably took it like, oh, he's on my side.
Bam.
They both have the conversation.
These conversations and jokes happen way before.
That's what I'm saying.
Way before the protests and way before this tweet.
This is candid conversation that now people are like, oh, you guys have these inside jokes in the house?
Yeah. She was just dude said it better than me.
Slip it out.
There you go. And she just got bold enough to write it on Instagram.
She got too bold.
I think really and truly, it's unfortunate for him because it's a hard lesson learned about the culture. And I think that, I spoke to a cousin of mine.
The man was playing at Chicago. He knows the culture. He knows the country. This ain't his first year in the MLS.
Right.
There goes that argument.
Nah, man, no arguments, man. Nah, man, there's no buts. You can't.
Yeah.
I'm here to be the devil's advocate, right?
Nah, man, not on this one. Not and it was his wife. So I guarantee they both sitting at the crib watching this on TV. And when she's saying, "Oh, they should kill everybody, kill the shits," he probably like, "Yeah, they should." Look at these dummies walking around trying to protest. They need to be in the house. There's a virus going on, all this type of shit. So she just the one that posted the shit on Instagram.
The worst part about it, Gucci, telling me that he played for Chicago, so he's been in the culture, he's been around other ethnicities, his family's been around other ethnicities, but she feels this way to personally put this on her Twitter, and that's really been the problem, right? As a whole, is that people can battle with you on the field and off the field, do things that goes against your culture, your movement, your race.
Hey, man. I mean, just because you're immersed in something doesn't mean you freaking, assimilate to it.
Yeah.
They came from wherever they come from, and they have their own views, right? And just because they're playing in America or they see things differently doesn't mean they're going to assimilate to what the masses do. And obviously, this is an example of that. And unfortunately, or fortunately, hopefully, we'll see if other MLS teams pick them up or don't pick them up, for that matter.
I don't think they can.
Well, good.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a team picking them up right now? Holy
that's what I'm saying.
Shoot!
Yeah,
They'd get absolutely killed if they did.
That's silly.
So ain't nobody gonna touch him right now.
Well, such is life.
Such is life.
Such is life.
Such is life. Such is life. Yeah, and such is life for Seattle Sounders. Again, continuing with certain statements made in this country, and we live in a different time period where you can make a statement, and you can be ridiculed, and definitely a life-changing career. And Seattle Sounders had the broadcaster, Mr. Al. What's his last name, Coach?
Alan Hinton.
Legendary player, played for the Sounders back in the day. Has been a big person in the community in Seattle in the soccer scene. Has coached many players, developed many players. Coach, you mind reading what he had to say?
B's got that. B's did the dissecting of this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I know. I thought Oguchi had that one.
Okay, I'll read it. I don't mind it.
Go ahead and read it.
So basically, he released a post and he said, "Let me make it clear. I am not a racist. ? I began in pro soccer when no black players on my team. ? Years later, blacks started to be good. So my attitude."
You already laughing.
What the fuck you mean good? Like good as in good behavior, or good as in good footballers?
Blacks started to be good, so my attitude was, "Love you if you help us win our bonuses." Signed as a black coach, several good black players? ? Have friends who are black? ? Is that okay? ?
What's with all the damn question marks?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
And I think Gucci hit on the head. He doesn't know. How old is this gentleman, Al Hinton?
72, I think, something like that. He's an old head.
He's like Bees trying to use his phone right now, or trying to use it.
Trying to get on Zoom upside down.
Trying to get on Zoom and work his computer.
He looked like Batman earlier, trying to get on.
Hey man, I should have just listened to you. Should have got an Apple instead of this HP.
I told you.
But
it's one of those comments. And first of all, I don't even understand the text. It doesn't even make sense. In its entirety, right?
Yeah.
But especially in this current time, and he's a commentator, so he's
broadcaster.
He's a broadcaster commentator, but he's aware of what's going on right now, right? And that probably was not palatable, let's say, for this climate right now. Regardless of what his intentions were, what he was actually trying to get across, because I don't truly understand what he was trying to get across.
Correct.
But I think B said he had other posts prior to this that kind of were as cryptic.
So I was scrolling through his Twitter feed, right?
Uh-huh.
And he literally writes everything after people put a period, he puts a question. I can't take this man seriously.
All his writings are like that.
That's his style.
All his writings. And I remember even someone even put like, "Yo, why do you keep ending everything with a question?" Yo, y'all gotta see it to actually, man. It's funny to me. Anyway, this was on May 31st, 2020, and obviously with all the protest stuff going on. But he and this is exactly what he said. So it's not my reading. It's exactly what he wrote. He writes, "Some of the many black multimillionaires need to ask for peace, and that justice regarding George Floyd will happen? ?
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't understand what the fucking question mark is.
That's what I'm saying. What does that mean?
Someone needs to delete his Twitter account.
Just get away. Why are you on Twitter at 70-something years old? Well, I guess a broadcaster, he is part of the game. But
for me, on that, go ahead, Mook.
Again, I reached out to Ricci Greenwood, who we tried to get on the show. Actually, we're going to call Ricci right now. Ricci's a former player of Al, and he's one of the most decorated players to come out of Seattle. And I just want to get his opinion, somebody who personally knows him. Let's give Ricci a call right now. This is a new segment we have called Hit 'Em Up.
I never heard of this segment.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Mr. Ricci Greenwood, welcome to The Crack Podcast. You're on here with your host, Mookie Wilson, as well as Oguchi Onyewu, The Glow, and Damarcus Beasley.
Enough with the intros. What's up,
Yeah,
baby?
right? Yeah. What up, man?
What's going on, baby?
What's up, fellas? Hey, how you guys doing?
Ricky, I just want to start off to saying my condolences to you and your family on your loss of your grandmother.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
Brother.
I really do appreciate it.
Prayers.
Sorry, brother. Yeah, prayers.
We're calling you on this day because we're discussing the topic that's going on in Seattle in the soccer market. It's a gentleman who has very dear to you, who's recently made a statement that got him in some hot water, and he was released as a Seattle broadcaster.
He was an ambassador.
Ambassador as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically, as Ricky told me, he's one of the leaders of the soccer community in Seattle. But Ricky, you're the person who played for him. Give us a little bit of history of you two guys, and I want your thoughts on his statement.
Well, I mean, just to give you just a quick, our background on our relationship is that Alan was, a guy that was instrumental in bringing the Sounders. Well, actually not bringing, but he was a coach, the first initial coach in Seattle, and then, he was the one that brought it back to MLS. And my relationship that I had with him was just as a youth. He identified me as somebody that, had talent and should be nurtured. And, at the time, I guess I want to say, just give you a quicker background. But, at the time, I had no guidance and things like that. And I was just, a kind of I don't want to say a knucklehead, but, I was just really, really not.
You was a knucklehead. Yeah, you can say that.
Just let everybody know, Ricci Greenwood is a Black American, is an African American. If you don't realize, Ricci Greenwood is an African American playing in Seattle. Go ahead.
He played in Seattle. He also played in Germany now.
Yes, he's an international.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's currently an agent, by the way.
There you go. I appreciate that plug. Yeah, but just I guess about Alan just a little bit. Alan is not a racist. Is what I want to say.
How do you back that up?
What he said, right? I can see how it was taken in content as being offensive to some people. Because in actuality, for me, even knowing him, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. You know what I'm saying? But me also knowing him on a personal side, and then the things that he did for me in my life as a Black professional soccer player, I know he's not.
What do you think he was trying to get across by that tweet?
I think he was trying to bridge two different times, right? I think he was trying to bridge a time of when there wasn't very many African American soccer players to when he kind of started introducing or bringing African American players into what it is now. And there's obviously there's a greater influx of African Americans playing football now.
But Ricky, do you think that he basically was trying to say, listen, I'm not a racist because I would pick an African American if it means me winning or not. I don't care. But we find a lot of people who are in power, who are coaches, who will recruit an African American if it makes them win, but don't necessarily have the best intentions for the African American culture. That becomes an I thing, right? Because if I have Gooch playing my center back and Ricci Greenwood playing my striker, I mean, I have a better chance of winning any game. But not necessarily I give a damn about you guys or I really care about your culture and what you guys are struggling with.
Right, and I can see your point that you're making. But what I keep saying about to Alan is I just go off my experiences that I have with him, right? And from my point of view is that he was one of very few coaches that even took the time. Right, to sit me down and talk, and I broke bread with him. Meaning, I sat down with him. We had lunch, dinner, and we just talked. He told me a lot of things, and I think they were very, very profound to me. But his statements, I think Alan is an older white man from Brit England, and I think his statements were just they were out of content. They were taken out of content, and then everyone was rushing to kind of turn their backs on him.
Yeah,
you know, and especially the Sounders. You know, this, like I said, this man is like a icon here, right? And they were quickly to make to pass judgment on him.
Yeah.
And
I got a question.
Yeah.
When did he coach you? What era? What time frame was that?
He actually was not really my coach, right?
What time frame did you get to know him, like, originally?
I want to say the 90s.
So
right.
Late 90s.
You got to know him in the 90s.
Early 90s.
So let's say that he's been in America for at least 30 years. So that whole ideology of saying he comes from Britain and this and that, he's been here for over 3 decades to understand what his words mean and the context to how to use them. Listen. I read the tweet. I personally don't even understand it, so I'm not like attacking him. I don't even understand it. But for me to say like it was out of context and he didn't understand and he came from England and he's old, I'm like, well, he's been here long enough to understand, and he's in broadcasting, so he knows how to communicate to the public, right? Or he should, after all these years, right?
Well, I mean, as you know, there's some people out there can put out tweets and really, really don't understand what they mean. I think that a lot of people nowadays should be using publicists if they're gonna tweet out things before they even do that, because we're in a time. I mean, not time, but we're in a sensitive world now. You know what I'm saying? So everything that you said is under a microphone and can be used against you. So he should have used. I mean, where he was wrong is he should have used the publicist to make a statement like that.
Yeah,
you know,
Ricky, but I'm saying he's basically. I mean, obviously your experience with him is different because it's personal, and you said that he kind of brought you up, but I mean that's basically what he's saying. What he did in the '50s or whatever year he said for. He didn't really know much or care much about black people until they started making him.
Mm-hmm.
Until they started saying, okay, these guys.
Are you guys there?
Yeah, sorry. Beasley lives in Houston. The Wi-Fi is a little funny down there. It's hot. So he's freezing up. There you go. Beasley, you have to start again. Your Wi-Fi froze again, but go ahead.
You see what I'm getting at?
No, we hear you.
Heard you. Your Wi-Fi froze.
Oh. It's my headphones.
Oh, yeah. Your headphones is popping up.
Turn me up in your headphones.
He got some fake beats. He got beats by Dre, fake ones and something.
Beats by day.
Beats by day.
What part did y'all end up on?
Start again. Start from scratch. Matter of fact, I will go back to the intro and come back again.
Yeah, you got to ask that question. You got to ask that or say that statement again, B.
Yeah, okay, real quick before my internet go out. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's basically what he's saying back. Is basically what he did with you. Is basically saying what he tweeted about. He only used, he only got to, get to know black people or whatever when they made him bonuses.
Beneficial to him.
Beneficial for him.
Right.
And basically, so when in Seattle, he sees this young black kid, saying, "Oh man, this kid, let me go ahead and mentor him, but I think he can benefit at some point, make me some money, benefit me in some way, somehow." That's how I looked at it.
I mean, and listen, I don't disagree with you. I mean, because I can hear conversations that we had.
And,
right.
And one thing, sorry, Ricky, I ain't going to cut you off. One thing is that we all, I know I did cut him off. I know. Sorry, Ricky. And one thing we all of us as black men, we always say, when someone uses this comment, I have black friends. What does that mean?
He a damn racist.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Thank you. And that was his last line. Oh, I have black friends. Is that not okay? Or something he said.
Question mark.
Come on, man. Yeah, question mark.
Yeah, question mark. Go ahead, Ricky. I'd like to hear.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I just got to revert. And Bees, I agree with everything that you said. The statement that that he made, right? They're not conducive of how he is really to me, right? Now, behind closed doors or whatever he does, I'm not for sure, right? But what I can go off is just my experiences, how I was treated,
definitely,
right.
by him, and just getting to know him, right? Now, I mean, I hung out with this man, right? I hung out with him, hugged. I had tears and stuff. I didn't want to play soccer anymore. I told him that, everybody was a racist and was against me because one thing about me, I used to knock people out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and say what you felt.
Yeah, literally. And then, he was the only person that reached out to me and was just feeling like the anger that I was having, right? Being a young footballer and being called out your name or whatever it was. He was like one of the only people that did. And, all these great coaches and things like that, they were quick to label me. Oh, he's not coachable, or he's this and he's that. And it was so many labels and things that I had, thrown at me, but they never came from him.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, when I hear his statements, they don't match the person that I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, but I also feel that his statements were, targeting African American players in the wrong light. And I think we should be open to make sure that people learn and understand, how this is offensive to some people, and kind of help them and correct them. But don't crucify him and turn your back on him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's a person that could learn from this and learn a lot.
Yeah.
Well said. Well, Ricky, it was vital to hear your point of view. We want to be a platform that when we speak about things, we really get to the core and give things the respect that is needed. And I would hate for us to go off of a tweet and not be able to contact. And we're blessed enough to have you and know you're part of our network and our circle. And also want to make sure the world knows that you are a U.S. soccer legend.
Man, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Boy.
All right. So thank you so much for taking the time, my brother.
All right, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. It's good talking to you guys. All the best.
And good luck with the new project, mentoring these kids and representing them in the right way.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, respect.
Cool, baby.
Peace.
All right, you too.
Yeah, man. Interesting, right? Very interesting.
There you have it. He's got a supporter. Not in me, but he's got a supporter.
Definitely, but it's good to hear that because, again, right, we don't know the man.
Yeah.
Right? And this man is, I think a lot of things come into it. His age.
Right.
Question marks.
It's huge. And also, using this platform as Twitter can be kind of shaky for people, as we can see by his tweets, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not comfortable, Damarcus Beasley is a tweeter bird. I'm not comfortable in 180 characters to be tweeting and getting my full.
No, that's good. Obviously Ricky's coming from a place of compassion, right? And he has a personal relationship. With it, and that supersedes anything, the life experience that he has. So I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. It was still, a strange tweet by structure, but I'm sure that he learned his lesson in some way, shape, or form, and he's gonna, I think, move a lot wiser when he chooses to release something on social media next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the Say What segment of our podcast.
Say what?
We
Say what? What?
That didn't mean do it again. That wasn't cute.
What?
Lead striker for U.S. men's national team, gentleman named Josie Altidore, tweeted after the Major League Soccer had put out a statement saying, "We hear you, we see you, we support you." Josie Altidore tweets, "Do you?" with a question mark, Al style. That lockout threat felt very real just a few days ago. You didn't hear us, see us, nor support us then. Hopefully this change of heart is here to stay and not trend like most. Let's do better at MLS.
I like it.
I like it. The leader, U.S. Soccer.
And then, No. I'm just saying I like it. And it wasn't no subtweeting. It wasn't no, he went right at the head of the dragon.
Right. Yep.
He went right at it, and
no like cryptic message, like who I'm talking about. It's
exactly. He put MLS. He wrote MLS. He retweeted MLS. And put them in the in his comments. So yeah, I love Jody for that. Because it is. All this, and it's not just MLS. It's all these institutions that's finally trying to see the light of what Kaepernick and even Rapinoe, what they started a long time ago, and then from 100 to 200 years ago, what all Black people have been trying to do. Correct. Fight for injustice in this country. So if they really understand and can open their minds of what's really going on in this country and do better and try to be better, and like you said, what we talked about before, talk to their players, because they ain't gonna know if they don't talk to nobody. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can get things in books and you can do your homework, but if you don't sit down and talk to people that works for you, how are you gonna learn? How are you gonna learn? How are you gonna trust? How are you gonna see it from their eyes? You know what I'm saying? You can read, you can watch Sports Center and get people's opinions on things, but your players, your team, your club, now I'm talking about sports, your people, the people that you write checks to. If you don't understand them as human beings,
or even support them,
look at the
NBA. The NBA players, they know they're supported. They speak freely because they know the NBA is going to support us. And MLS, I know even for me, when the Kaepernick stuff was going down, I wanted to kneel, but and I was like, I don't know what these guys are going to do to me if I do it.
You were on a national team now, or you mean with MLS?
No, with Philadelphia Union. My last year with Union, I was like, I don't know what these guys are going to do to me, and maybe I punked out, right? But still, I was.
What he do?
What?
What did he do?
Don't listen. Don't listen to Grandpa over here. Don't listen to Grandpa over here. Look at him with his fishing hat on right now. Man, but I think it's a bold move from Josie. I agree with him wholeheartedly. I think that if MLS is going to make that announcement or declaration, they have to back it up, right? And up until now, they really haven't backed it up, if I'm going to be honest. And if you guys don't mind, just diving in something real quick that pertains to all of us is, the disproportionate number of Black representatives at higher positions in the MLS right now, whether it be head coaches, whether it be management. It's just disproportionate. We got 26 teams in the league right now. Only 2 Black GMs.
Wow.
That's under 7.6%, under that.
Who's the second one, by the way?
Ali Curtis.
Ollie Curtis and Dennis Hamlin.
Oh, Dennis. I forgot Dennis is Black. My bad.
Dennis Hamlin. And then on top of that, 26 teams, only 2 Black head coaches. Robin Fraser, Thierry Henry.
Oh yeah, Thierry. Yeah, but he don't count. He's a goat. He's a
goat.
He's a goat. He's a goat.
But regardless, it's unbelievable because I know for facts there's a number of qualified Black coaches that would love to get the opportunity that just haven't been given that opportunity. And what's the reason? Right? What's the reason?
It's the same MLS coaches they've been recycling since the beginning of the league.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that. Because look at it. Honestly, if you think in the history of the league, right, whenever it started, not even the coaches now. And honestly, I don't blame the people in their position because you took advantage of whatever. You're given a position. I'm not going to say no. But how many first-time coaches, meaning like players that just retired, had no experience? How many first-time coaches or even other managerial positions? So Ben Olsen,
Jason Kreis,
Connor Kaysen,
fired, rehired.
Ryan Nelson,
I
Petke,
forgot about Connor.
Peter Novak, Chris Albright, Bocanegra. Like, these guys had no prior experiences to their position.
Jim Curtin.
Jim Curtin was in the academy, but they had no prior experience prior to this.
That must be nice, though.
It is what it is.
Coaching the academy and jumping off to the first team. That's a nice one.
Listen. How many first team, right after retiring, Black players have gotten an opportunity to be in any of those positions?
Not me.
Bees. Just go on our situations, right?
Yeah.
Look, Bees, 4 times World Cup, only player to be in 5 World Cup cycles, has won over 17 titles in his career. In his career.
My phone is silent.
Never been contacted by U.S. Soccer Bees?
Never been contacted. All right?
No.
All right? And this is Damarcus Beasley, but they give other people. I'm not going to say names. We already know, right?
What about you, Gooch?
And then they say me. Like, I know when I retired, everyone knows I want to get into directorial positions, GM, sporting directors, this and that. What they tell me? We love you, not enough experience. And I'm thinking, I'm like, hold up. All right, I'm not enough experience. So, college educated. I own and operate multiple businesses. I speak 3 languages. Have a vast international contact network. And this is on top of my playing career.
Hit him with the playing career. Didn't even talk about that.
It's on top of my playing career. But I'm underqualified. So if I'm underqualified, what are these people before me that got that?
Yeah.
Are their resumes even close?
Disrespectful.
Right? So it's like, why do we have to be? This is what Jermaine Jones and Eddie Johnson were talking about. Albeit they might have communicated in a different manner, but they wanted the opportunity, right? So I feel like as Black men, we always have to be twice as good or be overqualified to just get the same kind of position, right? So
yeah,
I throw that out there to y'all. Like, why? Why is it that? Why do you think it is like that? Because this is my question to the MLS in response to Josie. Like, if you see us, if you hear us, if you're with us, but your actions don't really show that, you know, how do you dictate?
Well, I think what they have told us by doing nothing is this is not for us, right? We're here to be workers, and we're not here to lead. We're not here to supervise. We're not here to own. It's plain simple as that. You know, we have a pyramid, a coaching structure, and nobody gets elevated. I spoke on this last episode how there's no representation of Black coaches at the board of the United Soccer Coaches Association and the U.S. Soccer Players Association. Do we have anybody on the board? On the Players Council, do we have anybody on the board? No.
Yeah, not that I know of. No.
And this is just not soccer; it's every industry. Every industry. So the tears and the sweat and everything you've done equally to your teammates is never considered just as good. It's a thank you, appreciate it. Now, keep on moving.
Get on.
Yeah, get on. Thank you, Bees. Appreciate it. That was nice. Hey, Gooch, hell of a job. That was nice. Keep it moving. See you when I see you. If you need tickets, don't call me.
It's been good. Sure.
It's been real.
That might drop you a couple of tickets, but that's it. You know, keep you at arm's length. But as far as
there's so many. I mean, Bees, trust me, your network, your resume, your playing career alone, your top 2, maybe the best resume in U.S. soccer history.
I vote best.
Literally. And not to say that you need to be given, because we don't want to be given anything, right? It's not like give us a handout, but how come we don't get the same opportunities on the same level? Like, I know some of our teammates that we played with, literally, they retired, and the next week they were announced at a club position, front office position. The next week. So I'm thinking, like, hold up, is it just because we don't know the persons, or is it just because, what is it, right?
He's retired from Houston, who has so many problems and issues they need to get correct. Bees, has Houston contacted you about doing anything besides soccer camps in Houston?
No, we had a couple conversations, but it was me reaching out to them. It wasn't them reaching out to me. Not saying that they had to, not saying they owe me anything, because obviously I played, you know, for the team and I was a player. But yeah, we've had conversations. I've spoken to the president. I've spoken to the.
I'm going to stop you. In a way, they do.
Okay, say they do. Say they do. You know, but I look at the end product. What came of those conversations? What came of those meetings? Crickets. I got and I'm not mad. I keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't respond. I felt that the meetings that I had and the conversations that I had with the people in charge were positive. And things that I thought I expressed a little bit of my opinion of what could be better from the soccer standpoint of it, and using my experience to help the club and to move in a different direction as far as people that attract, how they treat players, just from that aspect of it. It's I just think they don't get it, they don't know. But saying all that, did I get a call back? Did I get a hey, we like what you hear, or we like what you say, maybe we can have another conversation and talk deeper and more in more detail what you want to do or what your ideas. Crickets. Did I get a hey Bees, you know what? I think we love what you did, but at this time we're not looking to fill that kind of position that you're looking for. Did I get that? Crickets.
Disrespect, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just just in Houston. You know what I'm saying? So
I like to say something that I've brought up to you guys, and some of you guys have disagreed with me, but I'm gonna say it. All right. And I want to say is that both of you guys have been disrespected and treated differently from day one of the U.S. campaign with the soccer team. I say this because everybody knows Damarcus, Beasley, and Landon Donovan came up the same way, took different paths and different routes. But Bees or Oguchi and Onyewu has never been made the face of U.S. soccer to try to encourage other people who look like you to strive to be on that platform. They had an opportunity to give your story, Bees. They had an opportunity to give Oguchi and Onyewu's story to help build up the diversity in U.S. soccer. So it seems to me that things are not done by mistake. Things are done with strategy.
Yeah.
And you're here to play a part, but you're not here to benefit. You're not here to really be in cloth or sold into the cloth of U.S. soccer. You got used. And that's the reality of it. You got used, and we all getting used, and we all getting played. And the time is now not to kick and scream, but the time is to be intelligent enough to say, listen, we're not moving forward until we have representation on the top. Because if we don't have that, nothing else matters. No matter what we do on the ground floor, at the top, if we don't have somebody there, they will always reject it or put their filter on it. And that's what they want to continue to do. You know why? They must be scared of us. They must be scared because how they treated us in the past, they think we will do the same to them. That's the only answer I have, Gooch, when you ask me why. Why do they treat us the way they treat us? Why do they do what they did? Because as a man who from the outside, as a fan, looking at you two got through, you made it. We're so proud of you guys, right? You inspired so many people. Black, white, Spanish, Asian, doesn't matter. But throughout the process, you were always just a tool, and it was never kind of getting your just due or getting your fair treatment, and I'm tired of begging or asking, right? I just think we gotta mobilize and take it. That's the only thing they're gonna respect.
Militant, this guy.
It's not militant. I like to say intelligent, because why keep on running and hitting the wall if you know what the result is gonna be, right?
It's funny. People, they might hear us talking or hear what we're saying, and they're like, oh, they're just complaining, or when they say we have to work twice as hard, they're complaining, or overqualified, or they're complaining they're just not good enough for the thing. And this is actually an experiment I wanted to put out there, and this is for all the white listeners. So I would challenge any white listener who's listening to this podcast today to ask one, or actually more than one, of your black friends. If you have a black friend, ask if you have a black friend, this is a test, and ask them if they were explained by their parents when they were young that they have to work twice as hard as their white friends to be able to achieve the same success just because they're Black and American. I said, I want you to ask any of your Black friends if they heard that from their parents. And I almost guarantee you 99% would have said, yes, of course we heard this. Now, once you've done asking 1, 2, or 3 of your Black friends, ask your white friends if their parents ever told them that because you're white, you're going to have to work twice as hard to achieve anything in this country. Once you get the data, please write back to the Crack Podcast. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's something that you don't have to ask a Black person. You know, I don't have to ask you guys if you heard that. Because I know you've heard it, right? And why is it that we have to be taught that at such a young age?
Definitely, man. But
that shouldn't have to be the case.
Yeah.
I think on that note, fellas, we close the show. I think we had again, we can go on and keep on talking until Beasley's hair grows, but
and my internet gets fixed.
Internet gets fixed. You know what I mean? But I just want to say to the listeners, thank you for tuning in again and being a part of our family. Thank you to Ricci Greenwood for calling in. Thank you to my 2 co-hosts, Mr. Oguchi the Glow and Mr. Damarcus the Wi-Fi. Peace out, people, and I love and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys and hearing from you guys. All right, much love.
Peace.
Right.